Hey guys, welcome back for another video. Today we're going to be playing in a bob, a curly bob at that. So this is my hair here. I like to show it here and there just because people always wonder what my hair looks like under my wigs. I actually have been wearing it a lot out often lately because just wigs have been getting on my nerves during this pregnancy. And this is pretty much what I do. Just 2 French braids. I do them in the shower, co-wash my hair, French braid it, detangle it. And that's literally my hair care routine. So little details matter as well when installing a wig. Sometimes if you have thick sideburns, as I do, as I'm allowing them to grow back from shaving them all the time, I definitely find that using a gel or a good, nice, slick edge control helps to control those edges that peep out underneath your cap, because when you put your hair, like pull your wig behind your ear and you have that like nice slicked edges look, it makes it look so much better. So here's the wig we're going to be working with today. She came courtesy of VSHOW. This is a 10-inch kinky curly bob, and she's absolutely beautiful. Now the lace is definitely not the exact color of my complexion, but it's pre-plucked pretty nicely. And they also did not bleach the knots, which I am trying my best not to bleach knots while I am 9 months pregnant. The fumes are way too much for me, and I don't know, I just can't handle it unless I do like in daytime. It's super ventilated. So I went ahead and co-washed the wig to kind of get the most benefit out of the wig itself, but I was unable to bleach the knots, which would have took it up literally from like 10 to like a 20. Like literally bleaching your knots is everything when you want a flawless install. I used my Tresemme conditioner as I always do. Let me know some conditioners that you guys like, and this is the nice texture shot. So next we're going to be doing the elastic band, as well as doing our easy, quick, cheap way of tinting our lace here on the mannequin head. First I wanted to go ahead and just brush her out and make sure everything looked good, smelled good, and you know, everything was what it was supposed to be, and it definitely was. So I'm going to take my elastic. I used a 1-inch. I'm going to take my nylon thread, which happens to be my favorite, and just one little needle, and we're going to go ahead and add an elastic band. Now this is something that I don't do as often as I used to. When I started out with wigs, it was absolutely a must, even with my synthetic wigs, because it makes a huge difference, and it pretty much ensures for me that my wigs do not slide back ever. And so I went ahead and measured it ear to ear. You want to measure right behind your ear on each side, pull it taut, and then subtract maybe about 1 inch or 2 depending on your comfort, and then you go ahead and cut that piece off, and this is exactly where you sew. So I'm sewing literally any wig that you purchase that has combs in it is pretty much the cheat of where you're going to sew it, and it pretty much comes out perfect for me. Now I do understand all of our heads are shaped differently, so what you can also do, especially if you hand make your wigs that don't come with combs, put the wig on, you know, right side in, take a white like eyeliner pencil, and literally just mark and scribble inside, like pretty much like pull your hair back, pull your ear forward, and then just mark right behind your ear on the lace where you want it to sit. And that way when you flip it inside out, you have your marker, which pretty much would resemble the marker that I'm using, which is the combs that are inside of this wig. That actually is a much more accurate way of doing it, because if the combs are misplaced on the wig, you definitely won't get the finish that you want. And here I am. Those things I'm using there are T-pins. I went ahead and pulled the elastic taut across the other side, and as you guys can see, if I just pull it across, it is stretched to fit over there. That's what you want. You don't want to cut off a piece of elastic that is literally the length of both sides. You want it to be taut ear to ear, not like literally just ear to ear cut and knit. Hopefully I'm making sense. You want it to be tight enough that you know when you put your wig on, it's going to grab that lace and pull it and make it lay flat, but you don't want it so tight that you're going to have a headache. Trust me, even nowadays I still, if I move too fast, sometimes will make it too tight, and you can just cut little slits throughout to kind of alleviate some of that if it's too tight, or you can just redo it with a longer piece. And while I've rambled, hopefully if you're a visual learner, you kind of saw what I did. Literally sewed it in front of each side, not all the way up, not all the way down, just about 1/2 inch to 1/4 inch below where those combs sits, and we're good to go. So I kind of moved it down, and I'm going to use a lace tint My kids are clearly in need of mommy, but pretty much I went ahead and added a airbrush spray, and this is pretty much what I've been using as a lace tint. Definitely still, I've been saying it, but I've also been procrastinating. You can see here that I added the lace tint and it made the lace blend with my skin tone a little bit better because it did have a yellow tone to it. Now I'm going to just go ahead and cut like half or a quarter of the lace off. If the lace runs below your eyebrows onto your eyes, I would definitely recommend cutting that off so you can see more clearly what's going on above your eyes, on your forehead whenever you're cutting your lace, because I kind of feel like whenever I just try to cut the lace and I keep the lace and it's way too long, you can kind of almost you know, barely see what you're doing and kind of have to go back and kind of fine-tune it. And here I am fine-tuning it. Just cut as much of the lace off as you feel like you need. I personally cut right below where ever I see knots or, you know, hair. And you guys can see my elastic band that I put. I'm pulling it now, but if you kind of see, it pretty much lays super flat behind my ear. It's not bulky or anything, so I'm just cutting off any excess lace around it that will cause any bulk, and everything is going to lay flat and flush. You guys seen I gelled down my edges, and then you kind of see where the lace starts, and it kind of, you can tell once I kind of install and finesse, it's going to lay and blend and match flawless, even though the texture of my hair and the texture of the wig are not exactly the same. I added 1 thin coat of my adhesive of choice. I let that get tacky for about 15 seconds, cleaning up any, you know, excess that may have ran down my face, and then I went ahead and applied it to my wig. You guys have seen me do this a million times, and this is just my adhesive of choice. Honestly, I don't use like the Got To Be Glued, I'm sorry, this is Got To Be Glued. I don't use Isha, I don't use Ghost Bond or Bold Hold, just because, you know, I am fearful of ruining my hairline. I definitely put my wig in front of my hairline and not on top of my edges, just because my edges are personally very thin and I don't want to risk losing them. I'm already going to be pretty much losing my edges in a few months from postpartum alopecia, as I did with both of my other children, so I don't need any extra, you know. I've lost my edges twice in the last 5 years, and I'm about to lose them for the 3rd time, so I don't need anything else, you know, toying with my edges now. So this here is the Tresemme. It's the same conditioner I co-washed with. I definitely need to pick up some new options because I am limited on what I have in my stash. And then from here, I'm just going ahead and just pretty much messing with the curls. The best way to get the best curls is literally to, after you co-wash, add your product, put the wig on a mannequin head, detangle, add the product, and then go in with a dimming brush or a tangle brush, kind of allow those curls to clump. You kind of see how they're clumping right now. That is like literally the best curl pattern you can possibly get, almost like a wash and go or something, and then you just let that air dry, probably overnight, and that literally will give you the best curls. And you can use a cream conditioner, which I use, again, the Tresemme, which is pretty much a washout that I use as a leave-in, or you can use a foam mousse, and you will get amazing results. But because I wanted to film this video tonight, I didn't have the time to, you know, allow the curls to dry on the mannequin head, so we just moved on with what we had. Now I went ahead and made a little bit of baby hair. I will say that this one did look a little bit boxy, and I will say it's not even that it's the wig, it's more so because I did not have the chance to bleach the knots on this one. Bleaching the knots would have completely transformed how the hairline looks and everything, but I will say that at the end you will see that I did an amazing job considering I did not bleach the knots. This again is foam lotion, and this is my favorite technique for my baby hair lately. I just like 2 swoops, one above each of the arch of my eyebrows. I really don't like baby hair in the center these days, and I like to just make sure everything looks smooth and flat and sleek. And then we're going to go ahead and add powder to the lace. You guys can notice already that the lace is a much closer color to my complexion, but again, the knots are not bleached, so that was the only thing that was keeping us from a flawless look. So I added a thick coat of like a concealer, and I'll have everything I used linked in the description bar. And then I took what was left on that brush and kind of stippled it around the hairline. I am going to, you know, use my finger and blend that out, but for right now it is fine to just sit there. And then I kind of tweezed it a little bit along the hairline. It was already pre-plucked, but I just wanted it to look a little bit more natural and not so boxy. And then I went on top of that with a powder, more so a cool contour powder that would blend with my hairline a little bit better, especially when I put my makeup on. And then I took my damp, what is this? My baby hair brush was already damp from the foam lotion I had on. I kind of just went over it so that it kind of would remove a little bit of the powderness. Went and did my makeup while everything set. And now I am back. I removed the scarf, and now I'm just taking a little bit of a rubbing alcohol and patting that out because there was a little bit of the adhesive still on my forehead, and that definitely is a no-no. It's always going to look like a messy install if you have gel or glue or any kind of adhesive still like stuck on your forehead. That always is going to look tacky, and the more people you are around, the more it's going to be clogged. But that's pretty much it for this one. I had no complaints about this one, so make sure you check it out. I'll have her linked in the description box, as well as a link to everything I used in the description box. This is the packaging that the wig came inside. They did include wig caps as well as a bag that had the wig nicely sealed. So yeah, smooches. I'll see you in the next one.